Good morning, this is Andrew Mount for GG on Saturday the 26th of October. I'm here in Leeds, Diet Coke in hand, ahead of day 2 of my William Hill radio stint. Looking forward to the jumps action at Cheltenham and Kelso this afternoon. I've put up bets at those venues in my blog on GG.CO.UK, but unfortunately we've lost the flat action at Newbury and Doncaster, inevitable given the amount of rain we've had. But I'm going to look at the evening all-weather card at Chelmsford, where they've also had plenty of rain. Now you might think, why is that significant? Because it's an all-weather track, but it has a major bearing on how things pan out on the all-weather. Basically, the rain speeds the track up. Imagine you were on a beach running along. If you're by the sea where the sand's wet, the sand's harder and it's easier to run, you run quicker, compared to if you were higher up the beach towards the sand dunes where it's deep, dry and powdery. Now on Thursday night it was also very wet at Chelmsford, and it was a massive advantage to be around the inside rail. You didn't have to be leading, you could come from off the pace, because again the wet sand reduces the amount of kickback, so it's not as difficult to come from off the back. But you had to challenge towards that inside rail. If you swung wide off the bend down the middle, you were in no man's land, and you'd find those up your inner were finishing quicker. So the first race today, the 450, is a 7 furlong novice auction. It's not much of a race on paper, but I think the favourite could be Vulnerable, lyricist Word for the Marco Botti yard. Now he's gone close at Kempton the last twice, beaten at nose, beaten ahead, but he didn't clock a good time for either of those runs. And I think he could be vulnerable here from stall 10, and I don't want to back him at odds of 4 to 5. I did look at the second favourite, the Richard Hughes runner in the first time hood, but I've gone with Forus, 50 to 1 in a place and generally 33s for the Jamie Osborne yard. Now he's drawn in stall 1, and you might think, what am I doing backing this over 7 furlongs after he was beaten out of sight over 10 furlongs in a lowly handicap here last time out. However, he completely blew the start that day and could never get into it. Now the time before he showed good early speed, went 6th at Southwell over a mile, failing to cope with the fibre sand surface, and his best effort came in July over this 7 furlong trip. That was when making the running at Wolverhampton. So from stall 1 under a prominent ride, if Nicola Curry keeps him towards the inside rail, Forus is a massive price each way at 50 to 1 or 33 to 1, and I think can be in the frame here. Now moving on to the 525, a 7 furlong classified stakes, 0 to 50 and low grade stuff here again. But I like Catapult, the favourite. He's already been well found in the market, but I still think there's a bit of juice in the price, around about 5 to 2 or 11 to 4. This is another one who's drawn in stall 1, and he caught the eye at Kempton last time out when doing well to finish 5th from stall 9. He did too much too soon to get across and get a prominent pitch that day. But back up to 7 furlongs, so he won over course and distance, over this track the time before, over 6 furlongs, doing well to overcome stall 10. And if Josephine Gordon just gets him out and sticks to the inside rail, doesn't panic and doesn't come wide, then I think he's going to take some beating. We've got a couple of front runners out wide in stalls 12 and 14. Hopefully they'll go across, set it up for him, and Catapult can just come through in the final 100 yards or so and record another course victory. Moving on to the 630, this is a good handicap. It's a class 5, but pretty competitive for the grade. Philomundo heads the market, but this one tends to miss the break quite badly and could be left with too much to do here, although the first time cheek pieces might help him. I still don't want to back him at 9 to 4. I'm going to be with Harbour Vision at a 9 to 2 shot, the second favourite here. Now Derek Shaw's runner's got a really good record here at Chelmsford, over 7 furlongs to a mile, when he's had at least a couple of weeks off the track. 7 runs under these conditions, 4 wins for a profit of £44 to a £1 level stake. Now last time out he ran 4th in a course and distance class 4 handicap, drawn in stall 10 that day. Now by the time he was taken across to the inside rail from his wide draw, he'd lost too much ground and they just didn't go quick enough up front, and although he was putting in good work at the finish, he just got there too late. Now, so he's down in grade to class 5 company. He should get a good lead from Gloria Waits, who's likely to make the running from stall 2. And I think he's going to be very difficult to keep out of the 3 here, although I've not bet him each way, I've just bet him to win. So that's Harbour Vision in the 630. So just to recap, 3 bets at Chelmsford in the 450, 4 is each way at a huge price. In the 525, I'm going with the head of the market in Catapult. And in the 6:30, the strongest bet of the three, Harbour Vision for Derek Shaw. That's it from me until tomorrow when I'll be previewing the jumps action at Aintree. Best of luck this weekend. Cheers.